Hey everyone, it is Kimberly and we are back in the workshop and we are working on some new projects. Never mind the mess. We are expanded here to where we have a lot of stuff in a little bitty space. I know you can hear my heater running, so I do have a heater in here trying to warm it up. I think it's just over 50 some degrees in here, so I am okay to paint. I've tried to warm it with a heater. And if you have just stopped scrolling and you have found us, my name is Kimberly with Unique Finds and Furniture Designs here in Kernersville. I am a premier retailer for Dixie Belle chalk paint, and recently we just brought our silk line in. We have some cabinets that will be coming in, so I will get those on the shelves ASAP for you guys. Hopefully Thursday we'll have that there and you guys will be able to get your hands on it. It is a dreamy, creamy paint. I've painted a couple of pieces with it already. They're on the other side of the workshop. They're curing. So this temperature here in North Carolina has been cold and rainy. It's 39 degrees and raining out. So I've been heating the workspace, trying to warm it enough to cure some of our pieces. So it does take a little bit longer for your paint to cure, whether you're using the chalk paint version of Dixie Belle or whether you're using our silk line version. Either way, your humidity and your temperature on top of your rain is going to cause a little issue. Not really an issue, just a longer drier time. So just bear that in mind when you get to painting. If you are fortunate enough to have a nice warm location to paint from where you're in a climate controlled environment at all times, then that's wonderful and your paint will cure as it says on the container. So just to get rundown on what we're doing here, I have an old Jacobean table set. We've got the table, the chairs, the buffet, the hutch, and a server that all is the same line. You can kind of see the server behind me. So the style I'm going for with this particular, obviously I'm going with the farmhouse style. I am, however, going to most likely leave the top in its original form and paint from this section here down. So, and that's what I've started to do on this. In this particular project, I am using the chalk paint line though on this one. So I am using our regular Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint on this. The last one I was working on, we did use the silk line, and on this one I'm using the nice thing is we can kind of bounce back and forth. I will be doing some black wax and some different things to this, because I'm gonna, not only am I gonna paint it, kind of get it new again, but I'm also gonna distress it and also add some, it's kind of crazy, but we just add some old back into it. So if you are with us tonight, thank you for jumping on. We try to be here Tuesday, Thursday evenings, 8 o'clock, or excuse me, 7 o'clock. We used to do the 8 o'clocks, and now we're coming a little bit earlier during the winter time and during this crazy pandemic, so that we can all kind of get dinner and do what we need to do with family and then get out and do a little bit of extra work. But as you can see, I've already gone through here, and I'm going to show you the steps I took. I did take my white lightning cleaner because this was a very dark wood for one, so I did clean it really well, and it's probably been pledged in Old English, so never skip your cleaning step. And when I clean, I mix this powder into a bottle. This is a Bona bottle. I love it because of the fact it's an old bottle I used to clean the wood floors in my house. So I took this bottle, rinsed it out real good, and have been adding, I like it because of the mist bottle. It's a great mister. So I kept it because why not reduce, reuse, and recycle, right? I mean, that's the purpose. So I did mix a teaspoon of our white lightning cleaner in this bottle. Sometimes I do a teaspoon and a half. I make it a little bit stronger, because sometimes our products that we get in may have a little bit more of that wax and pledge and that sort of thing on them. I did kind of scuff the surface with my fingernail. Now, it doesn't have like a paste wax on it. It just had a pledge or an Old English Swift or whatever all those crazy dusting products are out there. and I did want them removed so that my paint would stick really well. And when I do that, I use a Scotch-Brite. This is what I call a Scotch-Brite. This one is Seen Better Days because I used it on this set that you're seeing, and I wore it slap out. So this will, with our White Lightning cleaner, will degloss it, and it'll, so that'll take the shine down. That's what I mean by deglossing. It'll degrease it, degloss it, and clean it all at the same time. So you're doing 3 steps in one. So you are actually kind of jumping ahead of the game. But it's something I never skip. Anytime you get a new piece in, whether it's an old piece or a new piece, always clean it really well with your cleaner. That you cannot emphasize a good clean over anything out there. And then after that, because of the fact that I am using our original chalk line with Dixie Belle, I did come in here and I did boss it. The reason being, this is a 1920 something Jacobean set. So I do know that the stain that they put on this is gonna pop out of this light color if you don't put your boss on it. The one thing with the silk line is it already has your bleed blocker in it. If you were using that, unfortunately, well, on this particular one, I decided to go with our original chalk line because of the fact I wanted to do some other things to it that we still could have done with the silk, but I'm probably a little more comfortable using the chalk, and so I am going to come in here with the black wax. This has been painted. I did kind of hold my brush, and I'm going to show you guys that because that's what we're coming on. I did hold my brush kind of sideways when I did this so that I wasn't completely painting certain areas because I want those areas to kind of stand out, and those are the areas I'm going to wax anyway, so why put paint in there if I'm going to stick wax in there? It wouldn't make any sense and be saving on some paint. So I'm going to bring you guys down. This is the coolest table because it is on, and hopefully, I don't know, last time I tried this, my phone tried to jump off the hinges. Speaking of that, normally I have my heater in here. I had a heater that one of my friends gave me and to use in the workshop, and I'm telling you, sorry for the bobble here, trying to bring y'all down a notch. There we go. Bring y'all down a notch because this is where I'm going to be working. I'm going to be working under this area. I lit it. It is a propane heater, and it has one of those little things on it. You guys saw me post it. Yay, I had heat. Well, the thing caught, scared the living life out of me. It caught on fire at the valve, I guess is what I need to say. It caught on fire at the valve. So scared the living daylights out of me. I like to have a heart attack because I thought I was about to blow up my entire garage here. And my husband's got toys in here and, you know, trucks and jet skis and things. I'm like, I am about to blow up the workshop. And so scared me. So I'm back to a heater that you hear running. It's an electric heater. It doesn't really do me any good. Yesterday I ran one of those shop heaters, a kerosene heater that blows and makes a bunch of noise, but it smelled so bad in here. But I did it anyway because I had top coating I need to do. You know, things need to get done. So you know how it is. We do what we need to do and we move on. So I like to have a headache most of the evening. So I'm still trying to perfect a way to heat. And by the time I do that, it'll be spring, right? Because that's just how it rolls, you know. But it scared me. It was one of those, so I'm like, I'm not going to mess with that. So with this dark wood, do use your boss. Let it cure overnight. And in my area, it was 39 degrees last night. I had a little heater in here, and I let it kind of sit and cure up as best it could because obviously the temperature. So do bear in mind, if you are working in conditions like me, you do let your cure time last a little bit longer. So I am working with tonight, I am working with the drop cloth. This is the color that I am painting this set in. I have a 32 ounce. A 16 ounce will cover 72 square feet. And so I'll probably have plenty of this left over, and this is a little bit larger, 32 ounce. So, but I am painting 4 pieces of furniture. plus 5 chairs. Now chairs take a little bit more, so I did opt to get a little bit bigger container so that I will be putting 2 coats on, and that's what I'm going to show you tonight. And I have the buffet, and I still have the hutch over there on the other side, the sideboard table, this table, and all of the chairs. So that's why I opted for a little larger size with my paint. And it just depends on the coverage that you need. But our line is so great with coverage. But hopefully you guys will be able to see. So what I'm coming in here now and doing is actually the second coat. And when we come in here with the second coat, hopefully you guys, I'll kind of point you in so you can kind of see. I know you can see all my mess and everything going on, and you know, me up close. But this, you can kind of see where we're coming in and adding a second coat where it kind of needs the second coat on here. Now mind you, I am going to come in and distress some more, and I left these this way because I'm going to add the black wax in. So that's intentional. So I am going to have my mist bottle because I am working with our chalk line. So we don't need a mist bottle when we're working with the silk line, but we do use it when we're working with our chalk line. So I'm just going to continue on because as you can see behind me and all around me, I've got a plethora of work to do, and I'm right-handed and only one good arm to do it in, and it's about wore out. So I do use my mist bottle. So what that does is I'm not looking for pure coverage now, since I've already got basically my coverage on. I'm just coming in and cleaning up some of it. And I will, it seems like that's what a lot of people don't realize. I think when you are flipping furniture, whether you're painting it for yourself, this, especially this line, and I am carrying my brush just kind of across because I'm not wanting to fill in there. And it does take a little bit of time. So if you have a project as large as I am doing right now, 4 pieces plus table and chairs, just tell yourself, you know, just take your time. Just take your time. Don't get in a hurry. You'll get it done eventually. That's what I tell myself when I'm working for clients or whatever. I try to keep on a schedule, but one person can only do so much. And if you are fortunate enough to have a sprayer booth and a sprayer, then that's the way to go on some of these larger units. It would be so much quicker. I'm not very dexterous with the left hand, but I try. So really I'm just trying to get just a little bit more on, and hopefully I can drag you guys in here without dropping. I dropped my phone, of all things. My daughter called from Texas, went to answer the phone. I was cleaning out one of my brushes because obviously I've been painting up pretty much all day here. And she calls, cleaning the brush, and I dropped my phone in the sink underneath the running spigot. I mean, of all things, but it happened, and I quickly cleaned it up. We'll see. We'll see how long. I asked Carly, I said, do you think I really need to back everything up, because I'm probably going to lose this phone now that I'm just misting with my mist bottle. There's nothing in this but water. Water's your friend when you're working with our chalk version line. So, and it does make your paint go further. Since I've already got a pretty good base coat on, I'm just kind of coming in. And what this coat does is really just kind of clean up any lines or imperfections. I'm telling you, every single time, and I know it sounds crazy, and that it is not just because I sell my paint, but every time I use our Dixie Belle products, I am always remember why I use it. I'm always pleasantly surprised at the coverage and how creamy and dreamy it is. The silk line is very much that way. I love it, love it, love it. It goes on so well. And one thing about this paint line, and this, I mean, I think all of us, everybody who is out here that sells Dixie Belle will tell you this. I could paint this entire piece and I could see a drip, and I've done it over here, and I'm talking about the new, brand new silk line. it's a little thinner than the chalk. So it was a little thinner, and I painted and everything. When I got done, I came back and I saw right around the handles, I saw a couple of drip lines. I came out, I sanded those drip lines flat, and came in after everything is painted now and touched up where those drip lines were. And right now, you could never see it. It blends smoothly back into the project, and you would never know. That is, to me, that is an amazing thing. I've painted with all kinds of paint products in my lifetime. I'm not a spring chicken by any stretch of the imagination, and I have been painting with all kinds of paints and paint lines all my life. And this is one of the only ones that I have ever seen that you could actually come back in. You guys know, if you're painting in your house, you paint a wall. If you stop, there's a dry line. And when you paint back it in, it never is the exact same as that dry line. And this particular line of paint, or Dixie Belle paint, it does. You can go in and make repairs and touch it up. I mean, if I nicked a hole in this, filled it with Bondo, came back in, sanded it down, and painted over it where this is already painted, you would never know I did it, because it blends back into itself that well. And that's that self-leveling aspect of Dixie Belle. I never can promote that particular line, whether I work for them or whether it's just the particular paint I use in my own projects. But that is something to be said about this paint line. I love the fact that you can just go in at any given moment, sand something. If you have a little drip run or something, it's your first time you've been painting, and even like me, paint every day and got a line, got a drip line, come back and notice it later, you can always just kind of lightly sand it and fill it back in and paint it, and you would have never known you ever made that mistake. That's a quality paint right there. If you can find one that does that, that's the one you need to stick with. And fortunately for me, it happens to be one that I represent. So I'm very happy, always very happy with this line of paint. You cannot go wrong. And like I said, right now I'm using, this is the drop cloth color that I'm putting on here, which is kind of a off-white. It's not really white, almost an eggshell cream color. And I like that because I think it's going to work for this particular piece. And you can see how beautiful the second coat's going on. And yes, I'm skipping that area because that's where I'm going to put my black wax in. And I don't really need to paint in there. And you can see in little areas like this, I've just kind of lightly swept over it because I want it to show. I'm going to de-stress there anyway, so it's going to come back out, and you guys are going to see that. So that was my goal, to show you guys this coverage as well as these projects that we're working in. I'm going to paint this here. Now what I did do on this is I came in with our little sanding disc and I just lightly knocked down the chalk on this so that when I go to apply this paint, which I'm going to do right here for you guys, this is my mist bottle. I just lightly mist across it and I am going to paint it here. What that does is it gives it really, really smooth lines, and I'm just cutting it in right up underneath, because I am leaving this in the raw, like I call it in the raw or in the natural. So I will be leaving it in the natural. But look at the coverage. Look how, and when you use your mist bottle, it helps take away your brush strokes. So that's kind of a little secret too. It just kind of cleans up your brush lines, and it looks like you can see the difference here versus here, and it looks like I sprayed it. It takes your brush strokes away using a little bit of water little mist, just a little mist. Now this is with our chalk line. You don't necessarily need it with the new silk line. We don't actually need the water with it. It's so dreamy, creamy anyway. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just going to move this table around and continue on painting the edges and getting all those chairs that you see in the background behind us. You see if I can get up off of here and pull this. This neat thing about this table is it's on casters, so it pivots and it moves really well. I'm gonna pull it toward me a little so it's not bouncing back there or hitting anything. And now you guys will be able to see this section. This has also been lightly sanded with my little sanding disc. So I'm just gonna come in here and lightly mist it. And grab my brush. I'm using the Dixie Belle Mini flat on this one. And I'm just gonna cut it in. Get this corner here. So your water is your friend when you are working with the chalk line. And like I said, for me, what it does is it helps hide your brush strokes. So you're backing off of that brush. You're not having to put quite as much pressure. That's what I mean by backing off your brush. And I'm just kind of cutting it in. I didn't tape it off up under here. I just kind of come along and let my brush do that. And look, it just makes it so beautiful. You can see the difference from one side to the other on this. And since I'm right-handed, I have to keep you guys on this side of me, which is crazy. And my right hand's getting wore out. As you can tell, I got the cushions up there. I'll be reupholstering those as well. And then you can see the back of the hutch over there. It's waiting for me. So the buffet and the hutch, they're sitting over there saying, I'm over here. I don't know if I'll have an arm that will last long enough to get all these pieces done. But just be patient with yourself. Be patient with your project. You'll get them done eventually. If you're doing them for yourself. If you're like me, you know, I'm going to be out here pumping the iron, if you will, only it's with a brush. So that's just how the coverage is. Now this is a second coat. Coverage was pretty good already, but I'm putting a second coat on just to kind of clean up my brush strokes. So that's what I'm working on in the workshop tonight. I hope you guys are having some fun projects out there. Just shoot us a picture or two and show us what projects you guys are working on. And we'd love to see them. And I'm just going to continue on making sure I get my coverage on these. And then we will come back throughout the projects and show you guys some more pictures as we go along. So, if you've been here with us tonight, we thank you so much for jumping on with us. We hope you all have a blessed week. We'll see you on Thursday and show you the progress that we've been making along the way. So I hope you have a blessed evening, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. We hope you have a good one. Bye for now. Bye-bye.